What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and more importantly, welcome back to the third video in 3 days. I set myself a challenge. I wanted to see if I could actually shoot, edit, and publish 3 videos in 3 days, and this is the third one. So hopefully, as long as the editing's gone well, you're seeing this on Sunday morning Sydney time. So what is today's video all about? You would have seen it in the subject line. It's about the Lycaon G. Now that's not to be confused with the GR, which is for R for range. The G is their board I have right here behind me, and this is their built-in battery model. So nowhere near as much range, but a whole heap lighter, a whole heap sleeker, and just an all-around cool looking board. Before we ride it, before I tell you what we're going to do today and why I've got this, a little bit about the board. So it's the same motors as the Lycaon GR, so dual 480 watts, 6 Newton meters of torque. Hill climb, it says up to 30%. It's the 10-ply Canadian maple with 1 layer fiberglass. It's got the nice deep tub concave on the deck. It takes up to 100 kilo rider. The weight of the board, big point here, the weight of the board, 6.9 kilos. Super light for a dual hub board that will do 40 kilometers per hour. So some really good quality bearings in there. Another good point, charge time, 2 to 3 hours, but they now also offer a fast charging option. So when you buy the board, you can select fast charger for a little bit more, and that brings it down to 1 to 2 hours, so depending on exactly how flat it is, but maximum of 2 hours charge time, which is great. IP54, so it just prevents against daily puddles and so on. Now, what we're doing today, the whole point of this board is we're coming into summer here in Sydney, and I want to commute to the office. Now, I've got plenty of other boards, but they are really slow to charge. Yes, they'll get me there and back. They're also very heavy and they take up a lot of room, and we have very packed elevators and so on. So today we're going to put this to the test. We're going to see if the G will get me to work and see how well it gets me there. It should be able to handle a couple of big hills on the way, but it'll be very interesting to see how we go. So I think there's enough talking about the board. I'll quickly show you it. Accessories box. Again, if you've been following my videos, we don't need to open that. You know in there is the Seahorse remote, lights and so on, charging cable. Yeah, that's so light. I don't even think that's 6.9 kilos, to be honest. There it is. Look at that. That is one slick looking board. I don't know if you can see that, it's so thin. There is nothing. Again, the perfect option for Sydney, considering these are theoretically illegal, just because they haven't updated the ancient laws from the early 90s when there was petrol ones getting around. So that's the board, that's the underneath. Beautiful, there's your layer of fiberglass, your big nice 90mm wheels, and so on. Now I've taken this board out and recharged it up, so I know it's ready to go. Remote is fully charged. So let's stop talking and let's hit the road. So here we go, on. Let's call this the work ride. Let's see how we go. Now there should be no massive surprises here. As I mentioned, there's the same motors as their very famous, or very reliable, whatever word you want to use, the GR. Same motors, same trucks again. These are some of my favorite trucks to carve on. They just really throw you into corners nicely. They have got a massive sale on coming up. So they've got a really, really impressive Black Friday sale where this board will be at the cheapest price. Hey guys, hello. This board will be down at I think around $399, including shipping to most countries. Now that $399 I think is with the standard charger. I think it's like another 20 bucks I think for the fast charger, which is it just makes sense to get unless you're never going to be in a hurry. But 420 bucks with the fast charger, $399. And they've got a whole heap of other combos going as well, which I'll put in the comments. I'll put down below in the description because it's just too much to read out. But they've got combos like 1 GR, 1 G, 2 GRs, 2 Gs, 2 Gs fast chargers and so on. Right. We're going to keep riding and we will talk when we get a bit closer to work. All right, quick update. We are about 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers in. I'm not sure, I'm not tracking this ride. And the board is going great. We just made up the first massive hill without, well, didn't show any sag on the remote control. So that's a great sign. Still showing us full, which is nice. And the board is still going really, really well. That's the G, just to give you another look at it. This thing is very, very unconsuming, that's the wrong word. Inconspicuous, I can't say that word either. This board is cool. We're gonna keep riding and we'll check in again shortly. Okay, we are cruising along beautifully. I was a little bit concerned just because I know this footpath and it is really bumpy, and this being a hub board. But again, coming back to those hub motors, the same ones that are on the GR, big fat rubber, like I think it's close to 10 mil rubber, which just absorbs a lot of those real aggressive sort of whacks as you go over. And again, you would feel them on this board, being that it is a enclosed battery. This deck has no flex, so theoretically the deck's not absorbing any of that. So going well so far. Okay, we are probably 50% of the way, I think, and we are still showing full battery, which is great. Actually quite surprised. I thought we would have had some loss of battery. I mean, obviously it's gone down, but it's not registering on the remote yet, which is always a nice peace of mind. Oh, big bump. All right, so coming up next, we're gonna go through the park and then a couple of streets and we are there. So this is looking like it's gonna be my new commuter. Alright guys, so we have made it to North Sydney successfully on the G. There it is. And I gotta say, it was actually a really smooth ride. And the footpaths around here are not that great normally. Let me slow you down a little bit. There we go. So we made it here pretty quick time. It's just on 4Ks to get here, 4 kilometers. And the battery is actually still showing full. Obviously it's not, we've used power to get here. I would have thought we would have used a shitload of power to get here because there's a couple of really big hills. And again, I'm a big rider. So yeah, pleasantly surprised. Very surprised actually. So what I'm going to do is, instead of ending the video here, I'm actually going to turn around and ride home and see if I can make it all the way home. Looking at this, there's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't make it. So I will update you either when we go flat or when I get home. Just before we head off to head back to my suburb, I don't think I mentioned the full battery specs before we left. Really quickly, it's a 10S1P, what you'd expect being so flat, 36 volt. It's only 3.5 amp hours or 126 watt hours. So this is a absolutely tiny battery. I'm really surprised we have made it here up those hills and it's still showing full. So yeah, I'll update you when I get home or when we go flat. Alrighty guys, we are almost home if you can believe it. I think that is pretty incredible, to be honest. We are looking at about an 8.5 kilometer round trip on the 10S1P. Tiny little battery. I knew I'd make it there, but I honestly didn't think I'd make it all the way back. And it's still got a heap of power. I'll just try to show you this. Turn around, accelerate. Still got plenty of bite. That's super impressive. So here we are where we started, back at home. This little workhorse is good. This is my new summer commuter. So let's do a quick wrap just without even stopping. Just put the pros and cons. Well, I mean, obviously the pros are very, the pros are very obvious. It's 6 kilos or 6.9 kilos. I reckon it's lighter than 6.9. It's got a whole heap of really great power. Like, it's just in H and H plus, it goes really, really nicely. There's no complaints there at all. Hubs nice and thick. As I mentioned, it looks like there's almost about 70 mil of rubber on there. So really nice hubs. You can't get much better than a 10S1P battery going over 8 kilometers and still having the same amount of power. The battery is showing just on half. Can't complain. Who's this board perfect for? If you're a DIYer and you want to go flat out and you want to just go up hills flat out, this isn't the right board for you. This is a great little city commuter because it's so light. If you live in a town, if you're my weight and you live in a town with lots and lots of really big hills, forget about it. That's not what it's built for. It's not going to handle the hills consistently and keep going. It's, the battery just won't handle that. You'll just burn through it like that. Today we dealt with three pretty big hills, and it handled it not a problem. Anything more than that, I think you'd be pushing it, to be completely frank. So really, the only con on this is just that. I mean, the only con, it's not really a con because it's not what it's designed for. The con is the hill climbing. This is a city commuter. Look at that. As I mentioned, guys, don't forget, massive sales on at the moment. As of, I think, right now, I'll put all the stuff down below they've sent me. Check it out. If you've got any questions, comment below, like and subscribe. And don't forget, wear a helmet, and I will see you on the next video. And I've got 4 seconds left on my memory card. Skate safe.